Welcome to Module 5 of the Frontline Forces Substance Use Disorders series, a case study for CNAs on dealing with stigma in the workplace. This is the 5th module in the Substance Use Disorder series. In this module, you will explore a case study where a nursing assistant hears of a nurse using stigmatizing language when talking about a resident. The information contained in this module is relevant for nursing assistants who are on the front lines of providing care for patients, anyone providing care to an older adult in any caregiving capacity, and even those not in a caregiving capacity who are looking for ways to improve their knowledge and understanding. The purpose of this series is to provide basic education about substance use disorders and the harmful stigma experienced by those living with substance use disorder. It is not necessary to complete the entire series in one sitting. You can leave and return to the course at any time. Our objectives for today's session is to understand the benefits of using non-stigmatizing language when working with people with substance use disorder and to learn strategies and tips for coaching peers. Yvonne, a CNA at Happy Place Nursing Home, was excited that her organization offered a class to all staff about people with substance use disorders and about how using person-centered language offers respect and dignity to all. She learned so much about this disease and will be sure to be careful when talking about the disorder and those who may have experienced setbacks. During the training, all of the staff pledged to use peer-to-peer coaching with each other to create an environment where anyone can safely point out stigma-producing words to help eliminate their use when they notice that someone may be forgetting to use the appropriate language. Today, Jane, the nurse, had a new admission, and when she gave Yvonne the report, she said she wanted Yvonne to go in and get vitals from, quote, the druggie in room 112. Yvonne was surprised at the choice of the word druggie and wanted to immediately talk to Jane, the nurse, about her choice of words, but she knew that Jane had a reputation of being somewhat difficult. Should Yvonne approach Jane about the language she used? Absolutely. Nurse Jane had taken the same training that Yvonne did and was part of the group who agreed to use peer-to-peer coaching with each other to create an environment where anyone can safely point out stigma-producing words to help eliminate their use. Yvonne is simply choosing to do what everyone agreed to. It will be up to Nurse Jane how she responds now and in the future. Should Yvonne talk to the supervisor about the language that Nurse Jane used? If after talking to Nurse Jane, she continues to use the stigmatizing language, then yes, that may be a concern to raise with the supervisor. Should Yvonne ignore the situation because she doesn't want her to single Yvonne out for a more difficult work assignment? We hope Jane won't do that, but if she does, Yvonne could bring it to the attention of the supervisor without giving names and ask for suggestions on how to deal with it. Should Yvonne leave the information she received from their training at the nurse's station for Jane to hopefully see and read? It may be helpful, but you made a group decision and agreement to use peer-to-peer coaching with each other to create an environment where anyone can safely point out stigma-producing words to help eliminate their use. Yvonne decided to talk to Nurse Jane about her choice of language. Nurse Jane was resistant at first, but after Yvonne reminded her of their promise to be considerate with the way they talk and act, she said she would make more of an effort. Yvonne was glad that she had done what she pledged to do. Let's take a closer look at the peer model that Yvonne used to structure her coaching to Jane. First, Yvonne got Jane's permission before giving the feedback by asking, Is it okay if I tell you something I observed? Then, Yvonne explained what behavior she had seen by saying, you seem to use some of the language we discussed as stigmatizing when you were talking about this new admission. These language changes sure are hard. Yvonne also outlined the effect that this behavior had. I don't think it was your intention, but your use of the word druggie made me uncomfortable and could further stigmatize that resident. Finally, Yvonne described what she would like to see happen as a result of this feedback, ending with, I hope you'll consider trying to use that non-stigmatizing language that we all agreed to at our training. An important part of this model is to make sure that your message is delivered with compassion and care. Here's a resource on Superior Health Quality Alliance's Shine a Light on Stigma campaign. In this resource, you will find additional education and real-life experiences, as well as an opportunity to take a pledge to use non-stigmatizing language.